Okay, folks. Well, let's play around with another one here. Start a new one. A big tree in this one. So, actually, I'll start again. I'll clean my brushes now. Right, now that I have gone through that rigmarole, let us, I'm going to start creating a nice large tree coming up here with a greyish day and some water and some reflections. Right, so let's begin. Some, what do you call that? That is raw umber with some red now, some cadmium red. I'm after a particular bluish, purplish color here. And is that it? It's near enough it, yeah. Remembering that this is only merely an underpainting for the time being. So lots of spirits there, and putting this up here. Is that too what? It's a bit too dark in certain areas. A bit too dark, a little bit redder, I think, as well. A little bit pinker. Okay, so some cerulean blue, and that could be some wee bit more raw umber in it. And let me see, I think that needs to be a bit redder. And yeah, I think that's a bit better. That's more like it. Let's get some distance in here. These are going to now put some blue in it to get even more distance in down around the bottom here. But it's going to be like a bluey, blacky grey. Too much black. Some ultramarine in it there. Just down in the corner here. Okay. A little bit more cadmium. Velvet that out a little bit along the base here. Now I haven't really established a horizon here, so I'm gonna make the horizon about here-ish. Okay. Just nice and rough. Now I'm going to have a tree coming right up through this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just brighten up the sky a fair bit as well. I want it to be like a proper bright sky. Along here, and there, now it's nice and bright. Slightly off color. Just slightly off color. So that is now silhouetted with the tree that I shall be putting in forthwith. Okay, 9. A little bit blue, a little bit of blue. So we're moving off into the distance here. It's just nice and greys off in the distance here, folks. Making it a bit brighter in certain areas. Now, a bit of this is going to get wiped out. Before I do, I'm just going to finish this off here. Alright, now before that dries, because I'm using so much spirits on it, I'm just going to knock it back a bit, that's all. Now we have ourselves a lovely distance coloration going on there, so this is going to be quite the tree. And it's going to start about here-ish. So I'm just going to mark, even though I'm not working on that. It's going to start about here-ish and then come right on up. Nice big thick tree up in there. Just let me try and keep my finger out of the way. A bit thicker in the base. Okay, and then another one. I use a different part of the cloth. And then another one just coming up here. And there we go. Now, and just take a little bit of this off over here too. Not much. Now I'll put in some of the background trees and the background grasses. And I'm just going to continue using all of this color that I have down here. It's going to be greys, lots of grey greens. So cerulean, a fair amount of cerulean in these greens to help grey it out a little bit, and some raw umber there. It needs to be a bit greener than that, a bit of a more saturation than that. So a bit more yellow and a bit more blue in it. Let me see. Yep, now a little bit of oxide red. A little bit more. Ooh, was that too much? I think it's okay. But for brightness, I still think I'm okay. Let me just come up in here. And I forgot to wipe out a certain part. Alright, now the same up in here. I'm just going to mix with what's down, just that should blend it in a fair bit. A little bit more green, a little bit more saturated. There we go. And just let that fall in there, right in behind this big tree. I'm going to be bringing this over a good bit. And I'm going to change my brush. A bit of a softer, rounder brush. I like the effects that this leaves around the edges for me. See that? That way that softens that lovely. Very nice. Okay. Now let's put some proper distance in here. A bit brighter than that. Oops, a bit too much. There's some bushes that you're barely going to be able to see. Yeah, just letting themselves be known in the background there. Now, let's work on a bit of a verge here. Now, a little bit of liquid, and now I want to mix I'm happy with this color. So I'm just going to mix up a little bit more of it. Happy with this color and its tone for now. Let's bring this down to along here. And just mess it up and around here. Just dance the brush. Okay. Now you can see a lot of distance there for the time being. So I'm just going to put in this tree. Nice big round brush. There we go. And let's start off with a warmish reddish base here. So some red and a good bit of black and some oxide red too. And some liquid and a little bit of mineral spirits just to get this in here. And that will be its reflection. Now I'm just going to lighten it a little bit. A little bit more red. I want it to be a wee bit of one of those. If you ever look at these trees, they're quite violet looking. They have a nice violety tone to them. Oops, too much white, a bit too much white. So, a violety blue and a bluey violet. Right, so let's just, there we go. Maybe we got a little bit more not so jumpy. And the same on this side here. Okay. Now this tree here, a bit more blue in it. Not quite getting the amount of blue in it that I want, so I'm just going to make up a bit of a new batch here. Bit brighter. Nice and thick trunk coming down here. Okay, now I just want to work on this one over here, just getting them in. Now I want to make sure that I remember, and I want this to be the thicker, bigger branch, so it's covering that up like so. There we go. Now I'm happier with that. Get another one going off into the edge here. A little bit of raw umber, a little bit of cadmium yellow, or cadmium red, sorry, some lamp black, a wee bit more raw umber, and some lamp black, and just mix it up. you've already created this mixture, so it's just it should be partly sitting there. Okay. There we go, as a starter. Now let me see. Okay. A little bit brighter in a certain area here and just coming off it here. Right, so now let's get back to putting in this verge here. And I only want it to come to say-ish, here-ish, as it were. I think that's a bit saturated, so I'm just going to knock it back with the greys that are on the palette here. So. Nice and darks there, folks. I'm going to have the water coming up into this little bit of an area here, so I'll need to wipe that out. You see up in here, I want the water to disappear to just in there, ish, just in there, ish. Right. As I'm coming forward here, the grass is going to be slightly greener, slightly more saturated. Slightly darker. Doesn't have to be, I mean, it could still be nice bright grass along here, but that's not what I'm putting down for the time being. Right. Now, just checking my composition here. Okay, so give me some of this and give me some of this. And I want to go in around here, messing around. Just put you down here. All right, now just let me roll this on here. A little bit brighter. And just roll this down here for the time being. Give us an idea that this verge of grass here is running in front of the tree. And this is just coming out here. That's fine. Right, okay. I'm just giving myself a moment here to have a wee look. I'll be wanting the darkness of that tree to go further up into it. A little bit of... So I'm barely cleaning my brushes or anything here, folks. Keep that in mind. And just because this is a landscape, it's so... what's the word? Important, I'm not sure is the word, but it's good practice to try not to clean your brushes too much, because all the colors in here are all affected by each other. In nature, the light that's shining down on here affects everything, and this reflects off that, that reflects off this, and so on and so on. So they all play an important role in forming each other. So don't clean your brush too often. Wipe it off, of course, if there's too much paint on it and all of that stuff, but don't go too far in cleaning it. I mean, if you have been watching my videos, you see that I don't clean my brushes very much at all. I do occasionally, of course, whenever I think I might contaminate a bit too much. But for the most part, I really don't like cleaning. Okay, so that's enough of that lecture, eh? As you've all been told. And just a little bit of an outcrop here, just to help break that up a bit. Close it in a touch as well. Okay. So now a bit of a flatter brush. Where I'm gonna have to buy myself another one of or two of these. So I am. Right, so I already have it here, just a brighter version of it. A little bit more red maybe, because we're now moving into the water area. A little bit more still. Okay. I think it needs to be a bit brighter. Let me see now. Let me just say it needs to be a bit brighter, but no, just do it. Stop messing with it and just do it. Just up in here. Let that water disappear off into the distance. Create a wee inlet there. Okay. Just keeping this nice and grey. Move into a little bit of a greener for some reflections of this tree. Maybe a bit more saturated than that, because I want it to be obvious that it is the reflections of the tree. Okay, now let's get ourselves a nice green going on here. A grey green, of course. This is I wouldn't say it's a grey day. No, you know what? It's a grey day. But that green is too much green. There's too much red, sorry, I should say. Now this is a bit better. A little bit darker maybe. Put a little bit more umber in it. Let me see. A little bit of liquid on this here. Bit brighter, bit brighter. I hope that you are learning to paint along with me here. I mean, that's the point that I'm trying to do this. I want you all to kind of paint along. It's a good way to pick it up. It's a good way to learn it. Just try to emulate what I'm doing to some degree. It's not always going to be possible. You're going to get stuck. You're going to have a clue what to do, but then there are times when you're going to know exactly what to do and how to do it. And that's all part of it, I think. A little bit more spirits to go into it. It's getting a bit harder to use it so much. Right. Okay, now Maybe a bit of a darker brush here. I'm just going to wipe this off. Let's get back into placing in some of these darks, these warm darks. So it's not black with oxide red, and some liquid with some mineral spirits. Okay, now. All right. Now the same over here. And I will need to come along and put some in the tree here as well, this tree down here. Oops, it daisy, that was way too dark for my purposes. Let me see, just. All right, let me just work this in. Getting that nice and dark, and now I want a nice green. Excuse me, I need to clear my throat. Want a nice grey green in here. Ah, that's nice. That's nice. Okay. Now let's just let the base of that tree dry up for me a little bit, and then I'll put in some, let me just see here. There's my wee brush. Okay, so a nice grey here for this background verge. I've already got it sitting here, so I'm just going to use it. Let me see. Is that, it's not bright enough. It isn't bright enough, I say. It is not. And that's not bright enough either. Let me see here. I've just realized why it's not bright enough. It's because its surrounding areas are not dark enough. That's something as well. It needs to be paid attention to. Okay. So let's give it some grays then, here and there. Alright, look at that. That is far too dark. Oops. Right. It's far too dark, folks. Far too dark. Let me just work this in a little bit. And same again up here. It's creating a bit of a darker patches on this greeny day. Right, I just want to knock this back a little bit here. Right, coming right down here and taking that, it's better. That's good. Okay, now, so let me see here. Let me get in bit of an idea here. I'm going to go for a proper bluey grey here. Now, where's my brush to do so? There it is. Okay, now there's the grey, and it's become a green. Heck, I'll wipe this off the brush. Too much on it just previously. Right, back again. There we go. I think I'm almost there with this. A bit more blue, but just a touch more. Oh, man, that's okay. I'm alright with that. And a bit brighter, I think. Okay, and let's bring in some cadmium red here. There's plenty of it in the sky, so there's going to be some of it in the water, and it's going to be brighter than not. Yes, it is. Too blue. You see, whenever, not all the time now, but sometimes whenever I'm working on water, you see the direction of my brush always going up and down, never side to side, unless I'm slightly blending it in. Okay, so let me have a look at that. I think that's too dark, and I am right. The whole water is too dark apart from the reflections. So let's brighten it a little bit. Okay. Now, I'm a bit happier with that. I can see that already, that it's a bit brighter. So, let's get back to the reflections here. Let's get ourselves a bit of a grey-green going again. There's plenty of blues on the palette, so you could easily come up with a good green for yourself. Now the water at the top here needs to be taken care of. Now this is one of those moments I'm going to be cleaning a brush. Okay. This just needs to be brighter and a bit bluer, I think, just to reflect that sky a touch. So, just let me put this in. And I think it's going to be one of those ones that I will do whenever it has dried. There'll be a nice white reflection there anyway, so I will have to wait till it dries anyway, so I'm not too taken back, concerned about it. So not too fussed, as they say, not too fussed. think the reflections actually need to be a bit darker. So let's make that the case. Yeah, it feels more like it, so it does. Just want it to be a bit more green. Okay. Now, I want to change the direction of this a little bit. I know, just bringing this up into here. And like I say, I want it all to be a bit darker, a bit grayer. Okay. Yep. Now, where do I think I am with this? Do I think the tree trunk is thick enough? Yeah, okay, so far okay. I could always make it a bit thicker if needs be. So I'm just having a wee look as a background painting. And I'm just, I think I'm all but done here for the time being. But I'm just going to put on a little bit of mud in and around the base of the tree here. Some indication of some rocks. Right, so no, it's not bright enough. Alright, okay. Just giving myself some roughness going on here. I'm not happy with this verge here. I think it's a bit too not right for my liking. And the base of the tree, this tree here isn't quite dark enough. Alright, but let me see. So if that's the case, you just come along and you try and fix that. Now the base of the tree isn't too bad. What is it? Maybe a bit darker still. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to get this little verge right. This here, I want to get the light in that right before I move on and do something else. And which means I want to get a nice grey-green. So let's make one. I think I'm getting too caught up in, let me just see where I'm at here. So, right, some cerulean, and some yellow, touch of red, touch of cadmium red specifically as well. Now, I believe that this is where I want to be, and a little bit more yellow for slight more saturation. I get some liquid in here, and then I'm just going to, nope, a bit more white, a bit more yellow. Okay. Now, it's not quite coming off the way I want it to here at the moment. So it isn't, and I know what it is, though the paint is too wet for me to be doing what I want to do on it. So it is for the time being. Yeah, okay, that's a bit better. I think I'll put a little bit of phthalo in it. I think that's what's missing from it actually. That strong green colour. Actually, I do believe that might have been it. Yeah. See, phthalo is a definite green. There's no getting away from phthalo. It is a definite green. It's a wonderfully strong, in your face green. Right, so I'm just going to knock back this verge here. Just up at the top end of it, just blend it into the background here. I do think I want to make the base of the tree a bit more imposing. I'm unsure. No, I think I'm okay for the time being. I can always call back in on that one if needs be. Right, okay. So I'm just going to lighten up a bit of this part of the tree here. A bit of red in that. The colours the trees make are beautiful, aren't they? They go from all different colours. And they can be so class. I love trees. They can be so class in their colours. At least that's what I think anyway. Okay. All I'm doing is just playing here at the minute, folks. The natural way a tree behaves. Maybe one coming off here just. Nice and rough, folks. I want a really nice, scraggledy old tree, you know. And all I'm doing here, folks, as well is I'm just using the paints that are down. You know what, I think I want this a little bit more blue. Yeah, and a little bit more thick, I think. I'm just going to, oh, maybe, I don't want to over blue it either, but I do want it blue. A nice grey blue up in here, so I'm going to just thicken this a little bit more. Close that gap down a bit. There we go. Now let's just work this around and give it that cylindrical look. There we go. Still just playing, folks. Just could have stopped this because it's we're going to be waiting for it to dry, and I could have stopped doing this 10 minutes ago, but I'm enjoying this just a wee bit longer. Now I just want to knock back this tree here. Just see here, just soften this, just the slightest of touches. Don't want too many sharp edges back there. Okay, so where am I? How do I feel? I'm just going to soften things down a bit. There we go, and then I'll. Right, what oh, I know what to do, folks. I know, which I almost forgot. Put some nuts in the tree, let them dry. Okay, just here and there. Doing these wee blemishes of the tree really helps with the realism of it. And darkening in under the branches also helps create that sense of realism. Now I also want to darken the side of this tree here and maybe make it a bit more blue as well. Let me see here now. Go. Now that helps define that side of the tree a little bit of red here. And I'm just going to do this side of the tree now. Some raw umber, touch of cadmium red. Now the tree is already wet, folks, so it will blend quite well. And of course you see me just going over all that work that I had done with the wee knots, but I had forgotten to do this part of it, so I am now working on it. There we go. Right, well that's nice, that's nice. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a highlight on this. Just along here. No, it's too wet. A little bit of mineral spirits to help it along, but I'll wait until tomorrow, I think. I'll wait until it's ready. Yeah. Same down that side too. And let me just have another wee blast at something here. I just want to make sure I get this wee boy in here. All right. There we go. Now it'll be a case of just dressing the whole thing up next now. And that will be coming along and putting a whole little twigs in here and leaves and branches and yeah, and some rocks and whatnot down in here. In fact, while I'm here, I might as well put in the odd rock here and there, just as a wee reminder. I don't know if I'm kidding you or not, or I'm kidding myself, but I find it hard to leave a painting sometimes. And I keep saying, oh, I'll just do this for this, and I'll just do this for that, but no, I'm doing it for myself. I don't want to leave it. All right, okay. And little darker areas in that when the time comes. And I'm just having a last look before I leave it for tonight. Excuse me. I think this is one for the palette knife, I think. Yeah, right. Okay, folks, that'll do for tonight. And I'll see you all again when this has dried up a little bit. All the best for now. Bye. Alright, folks, back to this little one. Now let's get some of this background in here. So today will be a day of scumbling and glazing, and glazing and a scumbling. Right, so I'm just going to mess around with a few brushes here, just getting this and getting that and getting what I need, as it were. So a nice soft brush. I'm going to put in a wee white spot here, just for a bit of a highlight, a wee bit of yellow in it, just. Oops, right, I'll get this out of the way in case I go ahead and knock it over. Alright, a little bit of yellow. And some titanium. See, all you want, yellow just helps the white glow a little bit, that's all. Okay, so just up in here, and maybe, I think maybe it's a bit too yellow. So I'll just work that in, and then I'll put in, right in the center, a bit of pure white. Just in there. That'll help brighten the center of it up. Okay, now, I'm just going to work the edges in here. Soften that out a bit. And now we get ourselves a nice wee brighter spot. That's nice. Wee bit more maybe. Just in the center of the pure white stuff. Just in there. Barely noticeable on the canvas. On the camera, sorry, I'll say. Right, so let me see now. I'll put a wee tiny bit of colour in it. A wee bit of a greyish orange here and there. Oh, I'll need to get this brush softened up a bit before I go any further. A bit more. So I'm going to go for a grey-ish orange, but just a bit grey. I think I have let this brush dry a little bit too much. Let me see, I think we're a bit more yellow. And a tiniest bit more blue. It'll help grey it a touch. Okay. And just in the distance here, folks. Barely noticeable. Maybe a bit brighter than that actually, a bit more of a brighter color on it. Right, now just wipe that off the brush. And just placing it here and there, and just spreading it about. It's off in the distance here. And then the same over here, only a little bit more saturated because we're a touch closer. So yeah, just over in here. Maybe a bit more orange than that. A nice orange in here. Some flicked through here and there, just toning it a little bit. Okay. Now, let's add a bit of cerulean to it here just to help green it out a touch for other areas. So that knocks that back a fair bit now. Okay, I'm going to put in a little bit more of a obvious green. I'm just going to try and get some of this phthalo green on the go here. And then that orange will really knock it back. A little bit of cerulean too. A tiny bit more red. I'm just trying this out. I think that's too... yeah, it's a bit too green. Just a bit too green. So I'm just going to... that orange will help really knock it back a touch. A little bit in here, a little bit in there, just to create the idea that this tree here is in front. So slightly warmer than what we have over here. Slightly more saturated, but still a grey-green. And that's just highlight a little bit of it here and there. Okay, happy enough with this now. Right. Now, let's work on this area here. This green here is bugging me somewhat. This green here, it was getting to me last night. I couldn't get myself to get it the way I wanted it, so I couldn't. So, some yellow, some cerulean. Right, that's kind of the green I want. A little bit of orange just to knock it back a bit, but I want it brighter. And a bit brighter still. A little bit of liquid in it just to help it move, and let me see what we have here. I think I'm a bit better with this now. So yeah, I think that's a bit better. So just going to yeah, I do feel that I have it this time. Yeah, see, sometimes you just need to take a bit of a step back to see what you're doing, and that break from last night has helped me for a bit here. I'm just going for a bit of a grey here, so find a wee patch down in there. Just in here. Now this is the moment in the painting here where it's adding detail. But now detail doesn't mean a little tick here and a little tick there. Well, it doesn't just mean that. A little tick here and a little tick there. It means adding in all the relevant areas and getting the tones of it all right. I want to see if this is dark enough to create a barely visible line. Nope, but almost dark enough. Just create a wee bit of a tree trunk in here, and one there too. You can just see that and no more. That's nice. Okay, now I want this coming closer here. I want this fading better than when I have it fading. Just fading into there. Alright, now bring this out a little bit further. Now, let's just lighten this water a touch here. And I will use the same brush. I'll just wipe it off a bit. Right. Bit of a pinky grey blue. more white than anything else. So let's see here. Nice and bright there, eh, folks? Look at that. Heading into a kind of a cooler blue here, a cooler grey, ish bluish, greyish, bluish. Ah, all those colours, eh? Bit brighter. Let me see. Oh, let me just fix this canvas here a touch. Yeah. I was messing around with it earlier and I just kind of put it out of position a little bit. It's a bit better. Right. I want this black area here over a little touch. This darker area, I want to spread it out or do it. Let me just have a wee think. I think actually, no, yeah, I think what I need to do is bring this area out a wee bit. So I does. I believe that's what I want to do. Right, so. Bring that out a little bit more further. Make it a bit more scraggly. Nice. Little bits here and there, folks. Okay, I'm back to doing that again. Alright, okay. A little bit brighter in some areas, just up along the top here. I'm hoping that this will be a wee quick one, an hour or so long. Don't want to spend too much time on these wee ones. They're so pleasant to do. And I am. It sounds contradictory, but they're so pleasant to do. You just don't want to be spending too much time on them. I like the idea of them being quick, fast, you know, that type of thing. Okay, right, so we are getting there. See what I'm doing? I'm just putting that on, flicking it off, just to create that roughness in it. That's all. Putting it on, flicking it off. That leaves that nice roughness. Right, so what I'm going to do is, I think my next step here will be to work on the tree. And I think it's dark enough, but I'm unsure. Okay, I'll wipe off this brush. I'll go again here, let me see now. Cadmium red and Samurai umber. You get a nice dull reddish color. Let me see here, is that bright enough? And I think it's a bit saturated, so there's some red in it, so I'm going to add in a little bit of green. Just a little bit here and there. Tiniest bit of cerulean as well. Okay. Now, I just want to make sure I've got a really good highlight here. Let me just sharpen this brush up a bit. Now, this one here, it's going to have the same highlight as this, but I'm going to work it into it. There we go. All right, now back to, I'm going to work this one in a little bit too. And now where's my wee brushes? What did I do with my wee brushes? On tender love is blind. I can't find my wee brushes. There we go. That's one of them anyway. I'm going to create a couple of knots in this. And I think that's a bit too dark. And remember, everything you touch, folks, everything you touch in this game is either going to be the right tone, or too dark, or too bright. And it's just really is as simple as that. There really is no in between with it. It's either the right tone, or too light, or too dark. Now, let's get some branches in here. Just mess around for the time being. Actually, no, before I do, I'm going to get in some thingy-majigs, some leaves and whatnot, and bushes. Right, so, get another bit of an orange going on here. Oops. An orangey green. It's a bit too much. It's a bit better. Dipped it into the green paint. Wipe it off. Let's go again. Having a bit of a trouble with this one at the moment. I think that's a bit better. Right, now wipe a lot of it off. And let's see, let's just play here, folks. Scrape this on. Now let me see, is that too saturated? It's okay for now. It's alright, I'm okay with it. Come across in the tree here. I will need some green for sure now. Some green into that. Okay, is this a dark enough green? I don't think it is, you know. Maybe some ultramarine blue here, just to darken this green down a bit. I still want it nice and dull, but I definitely want it a green. Break into this here, into the tree there. Another one down in here, and up here. Okay, let's see where we are. I still think a bit darker. I'll put a little bit of lamp black in it just to properly darken it down. A little bit more ultramarine and then bring it up with some yellow. There we go. Yeah, I'm a bit better with that now. Bit better with that now. I'm only going to be using it here and there. It's not going to be completely covering the tree, for sure. And different tones, and I just adding in the different tones of it. Oh. There we go. Now I want to put in some of the branches. Just nice and carefully to begin with. I just want to make sure that I don't want those bits hanging off it, so I don't. Let me see. Am I dark enough here? Part of me tells me that I'm not. So let's do another one. That's actually let's fix this one up. And a little bit of liquid just to help it move, and I'll probably dip into some of the white spirits in a moment. Yeah, I think a bit of the white spirits. Just loosen it up a little bit, help it move over the dry paper. Or over the dry painting. Okay, so let's see, let's just mess around here. This isn't quite coming off the way I want it to, so okay. Let's get a bit of a darker one going on here. Right across here. Darker still. Now the idea here, folks, is to put in quite a bit of this. So it is. Before I stop it, you know, it's going to be a good bit. That's a bit too cheeky there, eh? Trying to do a job with a particular color here. Just darkening this up a little bit here. That's nice. That's a good job. Now lots and lots of this, so I'm going to get out a different brush. A little bit of a pointier one. And there we go. Oh, this is a bit misshapen, but oh no, I think it's round. It's my standard brush. What is it called? Yeah, I think it might be round. Let me see. Ah, that's what you get for not taking care of them, eh? But I'll see if I can fix it when the time comes. But for now, I am after a rough telling of this. So let's put in a few rough ones. Bit brighter in certain areas. Don't want them all to be dark. I'll be highlighting a lot of these as well too, folks. Okay, so just carrying on here. Right, now let's create some brighter ones. Of course, these will have all edges to them. Bit of red on it because we're coming up into the sky here. I want it to have a bit of a pinkish tone to it. Just work into the sky. Now they are looking a bit disjointed. And what I mean by that is that they don't look as if they're too attached to the tree. But we will fix that, so we will. With a little bit of technique, I'm just ensuring that these have a bit of a highlight on them and a bit of a darker side. Yeah, there. Just this will help create the three-dimensionality of these branches, and that will also help bring it to the bring the branches onto the tree. But as you can see, I'm really not being very careful with it. I just want them to be nice and rough and lots of it. That's got a big swinging one over here. Darkish, reddish and brownish. More reddish than brownish. Let's just get this breaking free from here. And just okay. Now, just going to wash this out a little bit, put a bit of a highlight on that. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill out the bushes a little bit more, and that will also help embed the branches in it. Okay, the branches look now as if they're going into the bushes and coming out of them, and so on and so on. Alright, now I want it to be a bit, I want it to be a bit rougher looking in certain areas. I don't want it, I mean, you know what a tree looks like, it's gnarly and it has its broken pieces and what have you. Yeah, goodness me, how did I do that? That was a big one. Let's take that off. think I went down the side of it with the wrong side of the brush. That's a bit better. Okay. Maybe some dark reds in here. I'm just taking a little moment here to see where I am. A little bit more of an orange tone here and there. It's orangey green just here, just messing around with it, just planting it as if they're little leaves. Okay, now I'm going to take a wee step back and have a look at this. Of course, you're welcome to come with me. Oh, I need to get the right glasses though, don't I? Yeah, okay. So far, so far. So far, so good. I'm happy with that. The water needs lightened a little bit. Yeah, the water needs lightened a little bit. And then a whole lot more little pieces of grasses and rocks and yada yada. So let's lighten the grass then, if that's what it needs. Okay. I think that's okay. Let's try this. A bit brighter actually. A bit pinker maybe. Let me see here. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be working this in and then spreading it all around. Okay, now I'm going to use a little bit of cerulean just to help color out a touch. Oh, that was too much. Now, it's going to be a glaze. I'm glazing this area down in here. And that will help the two colors meet there. That will help the two tones meet a little bit. And then, of course, I've got to work that in, so I'm going to just clean off my little finger here. I'm going to work in the edges now. I'll smooth the edges, the rest of it out. I just want that worked in nice and soft in here, around the edges. And there we go. I'm going to take a little step back because I still think that it isn't quite bright enough. In the brighter area, I think the blue area is now bright enough, and yeah, that's right. So let's brighten it up a little bit. a difficult job. Nice and gently. Now this time, I'm going to be using my finger to go around the edges. But I'm going to be gentle in the center of it. Just get these edges all worked in. Barely touching the center of this. Get again working the edges. So they're not sharp. And then just touching the center. Okay, now let me see. I wish to put a little bit more green in here. And I'll just take a little bit off this brush. And the brush is, I wouldn't say it's dry. It's not far from it though. Alright, so let's see. Alright, one more little flick up with the lighter color just in here. Alright. Okay, right now let's carry on here now. Just getting some of those reflections in there. A little bit of water ripples here and there. Helps sell that illusion that something is sitting on top of the water. Now all I want to do is mess up this area around here, putting in a little bit of rocks and what have you. And I think that I'll probably, I think I'll most likely be done at that point. So I'm just going to have a look at my choices of brushes that I've put out. And then I will change it to this. It's just an old beat up brush. Nothing special about it, folks, just no beat up brush. Now we're here. I want this to be green because we are now at the front of the pin, or near the front of the pin. But it doesn't have to be a bright in your face green. It can still be a nice saturated darkish green. So let's see. A bit brighter than that. You still have to be able to see it, isn't that right? Okay. Just here and there, I'm just messing around with it. Creating creating all the edges and all that comes with this. So let me just again over here. It's a bit too Okay, now I'm going to start putting in just little ticks and flicks here for the rocks. So I am. But first I'm going to put in a good dark area for them. Wee bit of a dark area there. Another one here. Here. Look at that, just right under that rock there. Another one here and here. And here. I'm going to glaze this in here. And I do want a nice dark area up in here. Put some cool in it as well. Now all I'm going to do is make those look like rocks. So let's get a nice grey, reddy, rocky color. So cerulean blue and some transparent oxide red can create a really nice grey red. Let's see here. And then, once I get this in, I come along and slightly highlight them here and there, and that should be it done. I just want a nice face there. Alright, wiping a bit off the brush, and then going in for the highlight here. Here and there, because they're stuck in here, they're stuck in the shade, so I'm not going to be doing a bit of an overkill with this. I believe that I am done. But here. Right, okay folks, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Right at this minute I'm going to turn the camera off and stand and have a look at it for a moment or two. I'll be back in a minute. Yeah, not quite done yet folks. Nearly, but not quite. There's a few things I'm not too happy with. I do want this to be darker, so let's create a darker green, and I'll lighten it if needs be. But just patches of it. I'm not I just yeah, that's a bit better. You do need to take a break, folks. You need to walk away from it at times. Have a wee look to see what you think might be wrong. I want a little bit of phthalo on that and just work it over here, just a touch. Just to create some differentials between here and there. you know, make this look a little bit different than that type of thing. Okay, so then, now where's my little thingy brush, little glazing brush? So in here, just darker areas. No, I messed that up. Shouldn't have done that. That's a bit better. Just work that in. Okay, so let me see here now. Now, I am going to, what am I going to do? I want to put a few more I want to make this a bit rougher up around here. So a bit pink, a bit of pink up in here, just to go with the sky. Just playing, folks, and hoping that I'm not ruining as I'm playing. Hoping that I'm not doing too much of this or too little of that. Yeah, pushes it back a little bit. And let me just get in a bit of a brighter one. Too bright? Maybe. Not sharp enough. Whether it's too bright or not, it's not sharp enough. That helps fix it a little bit. Okay, so just having a wee look. Is the tree dark enough? I think it is, but I think the bottom of it could do with a bit of a going over. Just nice and rough. All right. Okay. One last look at it, and take a step back further this time. And one last look. Okay, I think that's decent enough now. Yeah. Yep, I like that, so I do. Nice wee rough piece. Just denote the bottom of this branch here, making that a little bit darker. A tiny bit of blue on it, just having that shape there. And then have this come down here a little bit, just shaping the base of this trunk a bit. So I would say that I am getting very close to being done. Very, very close indeed. So this here, I want this to come down to here. A little bit of white, almost a pure white here. Just here. Working in brighter areas of the tree there. There's a nice bright spot there, right there. And let's just work it around the tree. Okay, right. And before I go any further with it, yep, I think I'm going to call that one done. Well, folks, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. That's a nice wee quick one. Hopefully it's quick. I'm not quite sure how long this took. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again in the next one. And if you can, do us a wee favour, watch one or two more of my videos. Just watch a few more hours of them. I'll watch them as much as you can, and throw them all on in the background as you go out for your shopping or something. Anyway, thanks a lot, folks. All the best, and I'll see you soon. Okay, folks, I'm going to revisit this one a little bit. I'm not the happiest with this one. So, you just wipe off some of these brushes. And all I mean is, like, don't get me wrong, I like it quite a bit actually. It's nice and grey and a lovely grey beige type thing. But I want to put a bit more life into it in certain areas. Right, so I want to bring this back down so there's more lightness in the sky. So let me get myself some raw umber, some cadmium red, get that pinkish bluish, greyish look about it. So let me see. Maybe a bit more red in this. And let me see where we are here. Now that is not quite there yet. So now that I've established it, I'm just going to wipe it off the brush. Oh, this is the palette is from a painting that I was working on. It's the what do you call that painting? The Headless Horseman painting. So I'm going to wipe a little bit off this brush, and I probably think that it still needs lightening, and I'm right. It needs lightening, so I'll just do it over here. I probably should clean the palette. I have nowhere to work. So There we go. Bring this down a wee bit. Trying not to ruin a lot of this stuff here. Now, I just want to soften this edge here. See in here, just gently. I have brought the light down a little bit further, and I'll probably give me another brush and I'll just lighten it a further still. It's okay, nice and bright. And it can also help me reshape some of these trees as well. Really pushes that tree into the distance there. Now, let me just get this all nicely worked in, and then I will come along and have a little go on the tree itself. Right, so give me a nice wee, where's my wee flat brush? There we go. Right. Let's get ourselves a grey-green up in here, using some orangey reds and some ultramarine. Get us a nice orangey grey-green. I can just mess around with up here. There we go. Create some edges. Bit darker. And use the blue to darken it, and that will, help grey at a touch as well. That gives me a nice tree there. So I'm going to do the same with this outcrop here. Just want to create some edges on it. That was another thing that I think that I had missed. It was that I had very little edges on my trees here. And it's okay to have them go off into the distance, but you still want to create the odd edge in it too, Right, so a little bit darker in certain areas. Now create some edges here. Just roll this on. All right, now, giving this a bit more life, I think. All right. continuing on with this bit of an orangey theme here. Just over here, just lighten this, just creating the edges of this tree here. Okay. Now, I want to get a nice lime green going on here. Because a lime green can be a really a knocked back green. So a good bit of phthalo here, and some of that sky, some of it, a good bit of that sky, and then some yellow, and then let's just lighten this up until I'm happy with where I want it to go. And keep remembering that it's a green. So let me see here. I want this area here a bit brighter. And I hope it's not too bright, but I'm just going to play with it here for the time being. Okay, oops, shouldn't have done that there, but okay. Just creating a bit of a brighter area in behind the tree branches here. In fact, I'm going to go over the tree branches instead of trying to go around them. And then I'll repaint them in. Okay, so right now here's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to lay down a bit of a darker area here. Okay, with a bit of a glaze. So it's going to be a brownish, very dark glazing here. And then I'm going to do a wee trick. Dropped my brush. Okay, so let's just get this all glazed in. Darken this area here a little bit. Okay, so let me just mess around with this for the time being here. And now I'm going to get some kitchen roll. I'm going to scrumple it up. I'm going to keep it away from you so that you don't hear it. And let me see, I just want to lighten the thing that I done here. So let's do that. You see what I'm doing on the palette here. It's just a tone or two lighter. And a little bit of cadmium red on it. And then a little bit of ultramarine blue. And I'll gray it out a touch. And then some white. Now, I'm going to hope that this isn't too bright, let me see. Okay. Right, now the scrumpled up kitchen roll. Just unscrumple it and re-scrumple it up as best as you can. I'm going to dip it into this just to get a really, you could do this with a sponge as well. If I had one, I probably would use a sponge. But anyway, using all that crumpled edge, dipping it into the, swirling it around, and then just popping it onto it. And it should help create some life in it. And I probably would be best to, actually I'll redo that, almost redo it, not quite. It's a little bit of mineral spirits in it and a little bit brighter. Or now I think that'll do it. Yep. Now look at the life that that has created in there. A little bit brighter, so we'll go up in increments here. Put some of the sky into it, a little bit brighter. And then dip it, and not so much this time, not so much here, just a bit. Now I'm going to do the same with the grasses. So this one is a nice green grass. These are just little tricks, folks. I don't have to do it this way. As if you've watched any of my videos, you see that I create grasses many different ways, and this is just one of them. I'm just checking the saturation of this here. That's maybe, I don't think that's green enough. Right, same again. Oh, same again, folks. Just I'm actually going to use the same piece of thing with the same stuff on here. Just help it mix. And then just there, 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 and there. Now there's a lot of scraggly bits in this. There, and there, and there. Alright, now I've created some life in this now. So I have, now I'm going to be coming up into here and doing it up in here too. Alright. As I say, I just wanted more life in this, and I wasn't happy with what I had down. So let's mess around now with this area down in here. Let me give me some darks along here. Now the beauty about doing this, that you are never stuck with it, folks. If you are unhappy with its results, you simply just paint over it. But I'm not. I'm quite happy with its results. I quite like the way that this is turned out. Some rocks along here. Okay, now what I will do is put in the odd blade of grass. Not sure if you can see what's happening here. Yeah, that's a bit better. It wasn't actually going on to the okay. So now because of it, I'm just going to put in a few reflections here. Okay, now let's just work on these trunks again. So coming up through here, nice and rough, nice and shaky, keeping it nice and shaky, folks. Just helps it. As you know, the tree branch is just I'm not keen on the colour of that, so add a wee bit of red to it. I think it's just a bit too black. Alright, now I've got some life down in here and I'm going to darken it a little bit, just with a wee scraggledy brush. Okay, just here. Alright, now, let me see. Let me have an overall impression of this. Right, okay. Not quite there, but almost there. Definitely almost there this time. Yeah, I think lightening that sky helped bring it out a little bit. So I'm just going to put in more green up along here. And a bit of a sharper edge here and there. To help sell the idea that these are leaves. Now, and all I want to do is just one major highlight, or two. And that is just about here. Just brighten out a touch and then put in the odd one here and there, just as a wee flick, as if something is shining on the water. Now, just going to glaze this little bit here. Just help lighten this little area here. Now, let me see. Now, let me see. I'm going to darken the tree a touch. And this is a very, 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 very thin glaze. So let me see. I think I just want this tree stand out a bit more against the background than I have down. And the same here as well. Right, so let's just mess around with some flicks and ticks all over it. Some bright flicks and ticks as well. Just to create some, wherever they may be, whatever it is, whatever they may be. Twigs and branches and branches and twigs, folks. I don't know. I'm going to go and have a wee check in a mo or two to see how long this take. I'm kind of hoping that this took about an hour-ish here and there. All right. Yes. Okay. Right, folks, that'll do. I'm happier about that now. Right, well, I'm now. Let me just. I'm trying out this new thing because I'm no longer putting the masking tape on it. So I'm trying out this new thing so you all get to see it as if it was a finished product. Let me see now, just here. I'm going to try and hang a little mount from it so you can kind of get the impression of it being finished, as if there were masking tape on it. So let's see. Oops, it dizzy. Excuse me here. Bump right into the camera there. Anyway, right, let me see. They're just moving this across. Right, where did my little mount go? Let's try this and see if this works any. If not, I'll do it post thing. So. And I'll zoom out a little bit. The other way. I don't know if this works or not, but it gives you an idea of what it'll look like with a mount on it. I'll come out a little bit more. Actually, I'll come out a good wee bit so you can see the whole thing. Alright. Now, let me see, I'll just make sure this is focused. And there you go. That's it, mounted. I think that might have worked, you know. Yeah, a wee bit of a shadow along the top, but that's okay. Yeah, let me see, just pull this out a little bit. You know what, that's a nice wee painting. So it is. Quite happy with that. You see it better in the photograph. The camera is. I don't think it's warm enough, the camera. Anywho's. All the best, folks. And as I say, if you could, just do me a wee favour occasionally, watch the another one of my videos, if that's possible for you. And if not, just let it run in the background, and you know, while it's playing, while you're off doing the dishes or whatever it is, you might just stick a video up. It helps with the algorithm, and it helps my channel grow, which will I'll be able to put out more and more stuff if that's the case. Alright, okay, folks. Anyway, enough of that. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you all again in the next one. Bye for now.